Hi everyone, this is Lotus with Art of Sacred Embodiment. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about two different things, and they coincide: faith and trust, and this shift that is happening rapidly and beautifully from the 3D paradigm and that construct of that matrix and into the 5D and beyond. So one of the things that I've been really excited about to witness over the last definitely a couple weeks, but probably a month or so, is that there's a couple of the big programs, right? The programs of scarcity, financial fears, well, that's probably it. So really that big thing about the material survival energy, that is a program that we have been riddled with for millennia and really keeps us trapped from manifesting and moving into the higher awareness that we are co-creators and we can truly break away from that paradigm. But it's oftentimes very scary, right? Especially when you have a family, you have kids. It's challenging depending on where you live. Some places are very expensive. But I think it's important to really recognize that as our entire planet is going through the ascension process, and as collectively, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we're doing it consciously or not, it's happening for everyone. So around solstice, there was some amazing Christed energies that started coming in, and there was a level of buoyancy. There was a spaciousness. There was a new freedom that many people started sensing and feeling. Now, it's going to be easier to sense and feel those energies if you've been doing some of this work, if you've been really consciously clearing out and activating your system to be able to hold these higher frequencies. And yet, I think that it's happening with an ease and grace for everybody to some degree. So what I noticed is that moving from summer solstice, there were a number of people, a number of clients that it almost seemed like overnight they began to shift. That fear of, oh my gosh, I can't do this because of how will I make my money? I won't have enough money. How will I pay my bills? How will all of this work? That program has started breaking down and breaking away. And we're starting to glimpse that even if we don't necessarily know how, there is another way. And what I've noticed, even in just other conversations with people who are not actively doing this work, that they're noticing that there is a levity, right? There is this sense of freedom where there used to be this clinging to the fears of scarcity. So what that starts to inform us is that on a collective level, that program that keeps us stuck, fearful in the world, in sort of this striving, competitive, not taking care of ourselves way, right? That feeds our stress, that feeds our anxiety. All of those things, they're very human experiences, but they're also third dimensional experiences, third dimensional paradigms, third dimensional programs that function with a denser, lower vibration and frequency. Okay, so as this shift is happening, one of the things that I started really recognizing is that even as people are starting to open up and be freed up from that bondage, right? That bondage of survival, that what comes up is the faith and trust, right? Like, okay, I kind of start to see these potentials, and I'm feeling, which is super important, that we're feeling how we can start actually perhaps shifting. But if we don't have enough experience as a foundation that we can have complete faith and trust that if we come into alignment, if we do what continues to feel good in our body, it's hard to make that leap, right? Because really these are leaps. There are steps that we're taking, but there's also leaps that we're being asked to take, especially when we're moving from the denser third and fourth. The fourth still holds a lot of the duality and polarity into the 5D, which starts to unify us. And the access to the fifth dimension is really love. Okay? To sustain it, it means that we have to be vibrating love, compassion, and I put faith and trust in there as well. So how is it that we develop more faith and trust in our lives so that we can use that as a springboard for our leaps, but not only a springboard, but the wings. I like to think about faith and trust as wings that allows us to leap, and then they carry us, right? Because they're a frequency, they're a vibration. And really what we're saying is we're letting go of our personality's need to know and to control and to have a game plan. Instead, we're willing to surrender into this sort of ambiguous divine source that we may or may not have a relationship with, and that relationship may come and go, and it may be in different stages and phases for each of us. So it's a leap to do that, right? So what I encourage you to do, and we can do this right now, so it's really, again, connecting into your own deep knowing, a soul knowing, your highest self knowing. And how do you get there? You connect into your sacred center, right? You connect into your inner world. So just take a moment right now, and I want you just to take a breath in. Close your eyes and just let go with a nice sigh. And just watch your breath for a moment. Feel your breath breathing. And as you do that, consciously allow your body to relax, to let go, to release, to soften. And just watch the breath. And then I want you to call forth a memory, a time in your life where, whether you knew it or you didn't know it, you made a decision, or you took a leap, or you took a step with faith and trust, that somehow you just knew that everything was going to work out in a way that was going to really serve you and support you. And then just hold that feeling in your awareness. And then I'm going to invite you, if you haven't had that particular experience, see if there's a time where, you really didn't know if things were going to work out. Maybe you were a little anxious, but then in hindsight, you saw, oh my gosh, I couldn't have done that better myself. And so you got that experience in retrospect, that faith and trust was indeed working with you. That consciousness, that frequency, those qualities, those states of being were indeed supporting you. That divine presence, your highest self, your soul, in whatever way you experience it, was there for you. And everything worked out fabulously. So just take a breath in. And let go. So the ongoing practice through most anything that we're working with within the ascension realm and this process is we want to keep circulating and vibrating those energies and those frequencies that support us with higher knowing. So I encourage you to have those memories, but more importantly, have the feeling of how wonderfully things worked out. And begin taking small steps, right? The small steps where you can practice implementing faith and trust. And remembering that it's vibration. So as much as possible, you want to know that you can take that step and have a sense of confidence, even though that's a little counter perhaps to, blind faith, so to speak. But you want to have a sense of knowing that, or an intuitive knowing, like I totally know that this is going to be perfect. And I know that this is going to come to fruition. I'm just going to surrender and let go. And it's in that surrendering, that letting go, that creates a spaciousness that allows divine grace to come forth, that allows ease to move through you. Because in essence, we are not the doers. Our human personality, our minds, our thoughts that connect us to, I have to do this, or that's not really what the creative power is. The creative power is that which moves through us, that matches our frequency, and that delivers us into our next phase, our next level of knowing our truth, our next level of knowing that we can thrive in these higher energies, in these higher frequencies. And the more that we keep that as our intention, anything that is going to get in the way will either start to effortlessly fall away, okay? They're going to fall away because they can't exist in the frequency, the consciousness, the intention that is connected to feeling and emotion that you are holding steady with faith and trust. Or it's going to, the denser energies are going to show up to reflect to you where you consciously need to do dismantling. Okay? Resolution, healing, however we want to talk about it. So the faith and trust, in my experience, has been paramount in the continuation of trusting, right? The alignment that I'm calling in on an ongoing daily basis. Okay? So I hope that that is helpful. And I hope that you're feeling this new level of spaciousness, this new baseline that truly is being created as we all have the potential and opportunity to be moving from the third dimensional division, pain, suffering into the fifth dimensional thriving, ease, grace, and joy. And we're going to be up and down for a while, and that's okay. Keep focusing on that higher timeline. Keep focusing your intention, your feelings within what uplifts you. And continue to, to find those that can activate your system to continue to amplify that. Okay, and whatever that is that aligns for you. I've mentioned before, I use the light language, which works with the multidimensional alignment and activation, and supports the activation of our highest self wisdom so that we can function consciously in constant connection with our divine knowing. Okay, so so enjoy that. I hope you can practice that and really witness how that unfolds. Make a journal, make notes, so that you're really knowing how your journey works for you and what your own process is. All right. Have a great day. Peace, blessings, love.